we have Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family,
It was just another loud day outside the courthouse until something unexpected happened. Not in the courtroom, not behind the scenes, but live, right in front of millions of people. A joke dropped on late night TV, and it hit like a brick. Jimmy Kimmel didn't just tell a joke, he pulled the curtain back on something Trump's team probably hoped would slide under the radar, but nope, it didn't. Whatever shred of control they thought they had, gone. And honestly, it got so awkward, someone might have thought about dialing 911. But let's ask the real question here. How can a comedian crack a joke and suddenly the internet's on fire and people are whispering about damage control? What did he say that rattled them this badly? You're about to see it for yourself.
On the other side of humanity's coin, we have Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family, a very dumb crime family, the Gambozos, if you will. And Don Jr., he's so embarrassing. He's on the stand, he's testifying in this $250 million fraud trial, and he has to compliment, he said his father is an artist with real estate.
If this already raised an eyebrow, buckle up and hit subscribe. This ride's just getting started, because it's not every day someone calls their dad an artist while testifying in a $250 million fraud case, but Don Jr. did, and Jimmy, he didn't even have to spin it. The crowd outside was loud, but inside the studio, Jimmy turned that courtroom defense into something way bigger, something unforgettable.
I'm not supposed to rely on a big five accounting firm, like one of the biggest accounting firms in the world. I can pay them millions of dollars. I rely on them to do accounting, but I'm supposed to know more than them. By this logic, insurance companies are going to start suing patients for listening to their doctors. Right? Do you understand? Like, am I supposed to know more? Oh, Don Jr. doesn't know anything about it. I'm not an accountant. I'm a business guy.
I'm a business guy who had his elbows soldered together, and now...
Don Jr. thought he was playing it smart, trust the experts, blame the forms. Sounded reasonable, until Jimmy flipped the whole thing upside down. If patients trust their doctors, does that mean CEOs get a free pass for signing off on millions? It was courtroom logic crashing headfirst into late-night reality.
I wonder what's going through his head right now.
I should have worn makeup.
Oh, yeah, good one. Here's the thing about Don Jr. What he lacks in intelligence, he also lacks in charisma.
When Jimmy dropped that line, you could practically hear late-night viewers nodding along. Don Jr. showed up to back his dad, but somehow ended up defending concrete. And if you thought he had a rough day, just wait, because right after that, the spotlight shifted straight to Trump. What began as a courtroom fumble turned into a full-blown rallying cry.
The only thing that would make it worse is if somebody changed the lyrics to a song by his beloved Village People to drive it home.
Taco, taco man. I want to be a taco man. Taco, taco man. I've got to be a taco. Taco, taco man. I want to be a taco man. Taco, taco man. I've got to be a taco.
Hey, he wanted to be a macho man.
The nickname didn't just appear, it stuck for a reason. Taco Trump always finds a way to bail. It started as Wall Street talk, but the moment Jimmy said it on air, the internet ran wild. He called it gross, Twitter called it a snack. Then AI joined the party, suiting him up in chicken armor, rooster hair and all. Headline king, now served in a tortilla.
Call that chickening out? 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation, but don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question.
Trump did what Trump always does. The nickname was dumb. The question? Even dumber. But somehow he spun it into a full-blown meltdown, outrage, drama, and the usual doomsday warning. Because if there's one thing he never backs down from, it's making a scene. And just so we're clear, every clip you're about to see aired exactly as it happened. No edits, no hype, just Trump being Trump.
But according to the story, In 2018, Donald Trump, who was at that time president of the United States, was so upset about my jokes that I made about him, he directed his staffers at the White House to call Disney to tell them to rein me in. The report says at least 2 calls were made from the Trump White House to, quote, convey the president's anger regarding Kimmel's monologues and jabs. In other words, President Karen demanded to speak to my manager.
While Trump was busy live streaming his foreign policy takes, another truth slipped out, one that hit a lot closer to Hollywood, because when the jokes cut too deep, he didn't just rant on stage, he picked up the phone. And no, the call wasn't to Iran, it was to Disney.
Donald Trump, who was at that time president of the United States, was so upset about my jokes that I made about him, he directed his staffers at the White House to call Disney to tell them to rein me in. The report says at least 2 calls were made from the Trump White House. I had like 80 texts when I woke up sending me this article from Rolling Stone. It says, Trump White House pressured Disney to censor Jimmy Kimmel. Now, Disney is the company that owns ABC, our network, and Jimmy Kimmel is me.
Confirmed by Rolling Stone, delivered straight from Jimmy himself. When the heat got too real, Trump didn't log off. He called the top floor. Yep. The guy who once had nuclear codes tried to shut down a monologue twice. But instead of killing the joke, he gave it a headline.
Wow, what a plot twist. The first time Donald Trump ever tries to stop someone from talking about him on television, and it's me. Usually when he wants somebody to stop talking about him, he pays them $130,000, but he wanted me to do it for nothing. I wonder what it was. I also want to point out the Oscars were more than 6 months ago. He's still stewing over this joke. He keeps bringing it up, which I don't mind at all. In fact, I love it. I just wish he would quote it correctly. I didn't say, ha, 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 he thinks he bothers me.
He wanted Jimmy silenced. Instead, he handed him a mic and a moment no one's letting go. Because people remember who hides hush money and who can't handle a punchline. 6 months later, Trump's still mad. Jimmy's still cracking up. And now, the whole country's tuned in.
Jimmy Kimmel is every night, he hits me, I guess. His ratings are terrible. He's not a talented guy. I hear he hits me all the time, so I figured I'd hit him because I thought he was a lousy host.
See if you can guess which former president just posted that on Truth. Anyone? No? Well, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're still... Isn't it past your jail time? I guess I should be honored that the former president of the United States took time out of his busy schedule Googling Ivanka in bikini to rant about me, but...
Trump tried to fire back, but only ended up proving Jimmy's point. While Trump stews, Jimmy just leans back, smirks, and lets the crowd do the work. No shouting, no name-calling, just one joke, and silence that speaks volumes. But Trump's meltdown didn't stop there. As the cameras kept rolling, the fallout spread, hitting courtrooms, trade deals, and headlines worldwide. While Trump raged over jokes, the Supreme Court reignited a fierce debate. According to AP News, they rejected 2 big gun rights cases, but 4 conservative justices openly questioned if banning AR-15s is even legal. Justice Thomas warned, "I wouldn't wait to decide if the government can ban America's most popular rifle. The split runs deep, and it's only getting louder." Meanwhile, as Trump preached America first, global automakers quietly put China first.
See, we have a new round of randomly levied tariffs. This morning, the White House doubled tariffs on aluminum and steel. Well, he did promise to stop the steal. And the president has now slapped a 50% tariff on metals. Experts say higher prices for us are inevitable. We should expect to pay more for construction, for cars, even appliances. He's taking us to the cleaners. Literally, soon we will not be able to afford a washer or dryer. There's no plan. Unless you consult the MAGAverse, in which case there is and was definitely a plan.
I think he's had a plan all along, David, and I think we're seeing it play out.
This was his strategy all along.
This was the plan all along.
Was that his plan all along? It certainly looks like it.
This is the plan that he was pursuing all along.
I mean, you're watching the art of the deal in real time here.
Well, if that was the plan, congratulations, because in 1 week, the plan lost $6 trillion, and every country in the world hates us now.
As reported by AP News, instead of bringing jobs home, big names like Toyota, Nissan, and Volkswagen are going all in on China, building more factories, rolling out EVs, and doing it all for China, in China. Even Nissan's China chief joked, "They're making cars for every market except one." And yeah, you already know which one that is. Trump's tariffs, they didn't stop exports, they just redirected the the cash. As analyst Zhou Lijun put it, this is survival of the fittest, and under Trump's trade war, the U.S. didn't just fall behind, it got left in the dust. From the courtroom to the car market all the way to the Supreme Court, this isn't just political noise anymore, it's structural damage. And now, as the smoke clears, what's left is a mess no slogan can cover up.
I mean, Donald Trump has said I'm not talented so many times, Erica's starting to get jealous, but what he doesn't realize is that I love this. I love that this bothered him so much. I love that Fox picked a news guy nobody knows to interview him, and I especially love when he tries to spin the fact that everyone was laughing at him into a positive. The fact of the matter is, this is a dangerous person, this is a stupid person, and that's a bad combination. And I think what we're forgetting, I keep forgetting it.
And maybe that's the real joke. Trump wasn't just offended, he was obsessed. He watched, he stewed, and with every outburst, he proved Jimmy right. This wasn't just a roast. Jimmy didn't hit a nerve, he moved in. But peel back the laughs and the truth snaps into focus. This isn't about a bruised ego, it's about a man with real power, zero filter, and no off switch. And in a country still digging out from the damage, that's not just cringe, it's a warning. From ego parades to desperate phone calls trying to silence a comedian, this wasn't a tantrum, it was a collision. Comedy versus power. And every punchline hit like a headline. Because the deeper issue isn't Trump's allergy to jokes, it's what happens when the powerful treat criticism like betrayal, and humor like a threat. Whether it's a late-night host, a car company, or the highest court in the country, pushback is met with retaliation. That's not strong leadership, that's fear in a suit. And maybe that's what we really need to watch. You don't have to love late night. You don't have to agree with every ruling or every trade deal. But in any real democracy, questioning power isn't sabotage. It's how we survive it.